Hi, Michael here. You probably recognize the sound of a major scale. If you looked at this scale on a piece of sheet music, the notes would go up like this. Line, space, line, space, line, space. That's what most scales look like on paper. It looks as if all the intervals, the distance from one note to the next, are all the same, but they're not. It's better to look at it on the piano. We can play it. We can even count it. Each note has a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8th note is the same as the 1 note, just an octave up. As you move up the scale, the interval, the distance between notes, changes. They're not all the same. Look, as you play the scale, the first and second notes have a black key between them. The second and third notes have a black key between them. But the third and fourth notes do not have a black key between them. That interval between the 3 note and the 4 note is called a half step. Any note that is right next to another note is said to be a half step away. Here's a half step. This is a half step. These are half steps. So let's go back to the first 2 notes of the scale. We know that from here to here is a half step, and from here to here excuse me, is a half step. So if we put them together, we can call that a whole step. This is a whole step. That's a half step and a half step. This is a whole step. Here's a whole step, with the white key being the half step in between. Now, every major scale, all 12 of them, the C scale, the C sharp scale, the B flat scale, all of them, has the same pattern of whole steps and half steps. Here's that pattern. The scale starts with a key note, then moves in the following steps. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Go ahead, try it. Say it and play it. Keynote, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Now, playing the C major scale is sort of a no-brainer because it's all white keys. So I'm going to ask you to find one other scale on the piano before we leave this. Let's go to the 5 note in the key of C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C, D, E, F, G. Now starting on G, actually let's start an octave below that on this G. I'd like you to play all the white keys one after another from that G up to the next G. And see if your ear, which has just gotten used to the sound of the C major scale, notices anything different about this G scale. What do you think? Let's go back to the major scale formula and calculate the actual notes of the G major scale. Keynote, whole step, half step, whole, 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 half. Did you hear the difference? When we played all the white keys, it wasn't quite the same as the major scale pattern. The 7 note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 was changed. In order to make it a major scale, we have to raise that 7 note a half step. You can use that formula, keynote, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, to figure out any major scale. And your ears will tell you when you get it right. Pretty simple, yes? In the next video, I'm going to show you a way to practice that scale that's actually fun.